So our next speaker is from the Sankofa Community Connection in Newport, and she asked me to go ahead and read a little bit of their mission statement. So, actually, I might need this lowered, but there we go. Yeah, that's great. So, our mission is to empower urban communities through education, workshops, and training in order to cultivate community leaders that will help to increase cultural pride, strive for health, educational, and economic equity, and build a thriving African American community in Newport County. So without further ado, I welcome Nico Merritt to come share some words with you. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to start actually with Seneca Pender. He's the chair of Sankofa.
Good afternoon, everybody. How you guys doing? All right, I want to do something first before I read from my remarks. It's going to take a little crowd participation. When my man Marco was up here speaking, the place in the back decided to turn up their music because they don't want to be a part of this. So we're going to cheer real loud on the count of 3 and drown them out. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. Everybody. And there might be people that might want to be over here. So when they hear us, they're like, what's that? And this is called progress. So I just want to read a few remarks. My name is Seneca Pender. I am the chair of Sankofa Community Connection. In my remarks, I would like to speak about some facts about the school-to-prison pipeline. As an African American growing up in Philadelphia, I didn't realize till a few years ago many of my friends, including myself, were a part of this. And when you look back on it as an adult, you're thinking, why was suspension, why was expulsion the first choice for punishment for people like myself and my friends? Why was it in-school suspension, out-of-school suspension, expulsion? All that stuff was the first option. Never was counseling, never was cultural awareness between different populations and social and economic backgrounds. That was it. So now as I've gotten older, I've become to realize this, and we got to do something to stop this right now. So I want to read some facts that are available online, ACLU, a lot of good organizations. 40% of students expelled from U.S. schools are African American. 70% of students involved in school arrest or referred to law enforcement are African American or Latino. African American students are 3.5 times more likely to be suspended than whites. There are many disturbing figures and trends that point a bleak future for African American boys and girls. Many school districts are ill-equipped to effectively manage conflict and issues of behaviors among our youth. Many school policies are outdated or issue a vague response to relevant issues. Expulsions, suspensions, and the now zero tolerance policies exist to say one thing: it's not my problem anymore, it's yours. As a community and on a macro level, we all need to do our part to destroy this pipeline and secure a better future for our youth. And here are some things that I'm suggesting. Increased engagement by all of us in school board meetings, PTO meetings. And that doesn't mean if you don't have kids, you may have kids one day, be a part of it. Most of these things get passed with the school board attendance of like 4 to 5 people. And these same 4 to 5 people have been there for countless of years, so they just miss them. Oh, this person here all the time. We're not worried about them. Show up in force, demand change, demand actions, demand accountability. It's not hard. They try to sneak these meetings in on a random Tuesday at 6:35 p.m. while you're feeding your family, and all of a sudden, They start school early, or they employ a new zero tolerance policy. So when you find out about it, the action's already taken place, and most of the actions are punitive. Also, reviewing school policies, challenging them and presenting with more effective alternatives. And one effective alternative that I would like to have is cultural awareness among all school administration. I think it helps us become more open-minded, more well-rounded, and more tolerant, and more respectable. Another thing I would like to suggest is positive behavioral interventions and support, which is the foundation of building confidence and trust. That involves all administration. So if you see a kid that's doing something right, the crossing guard can reward him, a ticket for ice cream, or a praise over the intercom, something to build that confidence and trust, so when they know they're going to school, it's not punitive and it doesn't feel like going to prison. It's not too late. No matter what you read or what you hear, because there's a lot of stuff out there that presents that bleak picture, it's never, ever, ever too late. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nico, and I'm the founding Executive Director of Sankofa Community Connection. So thank you, Seneca, for your words about the school-to-prison pipeline. We're all here today because this is an issue that can no longer be ignored. I would ask that everyone look around for a moment. There's so much energy today. Do y'all feel that energy around you? Look at what we can do. Look at how much work the organizers put in to make this happen. A shift is starting. And I ask that we not be like other groups out there that take this momentum and go home and do nothing. Let's not leave here and it be over. Let's not leave here and wear our t-shirts from time to time and look back on this day. This day should not only be a memory. This is a call to action. Do your part. I ask that you all work together and make real changes in your community. Here are some that we suggest at Sankofa Community Connection. Get involved in your child's education. If something's going on that doesn't feel right, question it. Make your presence known in these schools. You have every right to be there. If you don't feel comfortable going to the schools, get someone who is and take them with you for your support. Advocate for change. Find out about school committees and boards and when elections are up, and make your voice heard by voting. We can't let this go on any longer. Get together as a community and include the youth, because they are the ones who are our future. Hold schools and administrators accountable. We cannot possibly build safe, creative, nurturing schools and criminalize our children at the same time. It has to stop. Ban school suspensions. We all know that there are higher suspension rates for our black boys. It has little to do with them committing more offenses. It's just a discriminatory practice. So that has to stop. We need to adapt and implement. So it's important. We take all these new trainings on and they never implement them. It's just for training. We need to implement restorative justice, because zero tolerance has to go. Advocate for no police in schools. We do not need police there. These are just a few. I can go on and on, but we've got a lot of work to do. There are strength in numbers. Come together within your communities and then connect with other communities. We're only a couple of bridges apart in Newport, so I want you guys to cross that bridge. Come help us out. Newport needs support too. We cross the bridge all the time to come to Providence to show support, so bring it back to us. In closing, remember, we have a voice. We will be heard, and we have to join together in community to amplify each other and help disrupt the school-to-prison pipeline. Finally, I would love to close with a quote from Mary McLeod Bethune. I leave you love, I leave you hope, I leave you the challenge of developing confidence in one another, I leave you respect for the use of power, I leave you faith, and I leave you racial dignity. Thank you.
Thank you both so much. And that's a really important point, right? We're out here in Providence, and it's easy to get stuck in Providence because we have the State House, right? But we have to make sure we're paying attention to all the folks in Rhode Island. We have to make sure we're paying to Newport, Woonsocket, make sure we're looking at all of the folks of color here in this state that we have to be fighting for, right? Yeah.